Stu and Dave Do America present Ben Ferguson versus CNN.
But you support
Ben, don't you live in Texas?
I live in Texas,
Okay,
and
so
there's no way in hell we're putting it on 78 degrees. By the way,
that's why
just
your
to be
grid
clear,
falls apart.
it's not 78 degrees in here right now either. And no one's gonna abide by this. Like, it's absurd.
Ben, you're not supposed to say that, Ben.
Well, he's right. And I did watch a little bit more of that, actually. I did see the clip where he does mention it's not 78 degrees in that studio. It's much cooler. He makes a very solid point there. But I just love that we've now politicized thermostat. It makes me not want to touch it, but just go warm myself up in my car in the garage with all the doors shut.
Yeah. That might have
hit that point.
Another side effect there, Dave. But yeah, it is legitimately crazy. Like these used to be things that would unite us. The wonders of air conditioning, right? That's a basic thing we can all be excited about. No, we got to ruin that too. Big screen TVs, they're out. Nice cars, forget it. You got to have a little tiny home, with no electricity and maybe a solar panel that never works. It's just they want the world to suck, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah, it used to be with air conditioning that it was either your dad or your mom would come down and turn it up to 80, which wasn't technically air conditioning.
Right.
And everybody just had to suffer. That's what the kids of boomers had to deal with, was the fact that they had air conditioning but never actually used it. So I would just be sweating all night long, but I wasn't allowed to open the window because the air conditioning was on.
Right.
Those were the days that I have worked to forget and use my air conditioner well under 78.
Well, let me give you another day that you're going to hope to forget for the rest of your life. Let's do Graham Platner's condom etiquette. Gosh, may God have mercy on our souls. Welcome to Stu and Dave Do America. Stu Burguiere along with Dave Landau.
Good night and good luck. I'm kidding. Ahoy, and we meet again.
We do. Dave, you're going to be around the country. You go to davelandau.com to get all the dates. Are there a couple that you want to highlight today?
Sure. This weekend, you can see me in Huntsville, Alabama at Levity Live. And then July 25th, Farwell, Michigan, Rock Michigan Red Fest with Ted Nugent.
Yeah, check those out as well. DaveLandau.com. Get your tickets there. Go to PredictableShow.com and sign up for all your election news and your prediction market analysis. We're going through kind of a constitution. If you wanted to figure out how to trade, you're not sure how to do it, got the rules of the road going for you all this week. So check that out as well at PredictableShow.com. And of course, BlazeTV.com is a great place to go as well. Sign up. Be part of the family. BlazeTV.com/Stu and Dave. The code is Stu and Dave. Now, a lot of times we will say things like that, like, "Oh gosh, hey, join the family. We got more access. You can go deeper with the show and the network if you become a subscriber." This might not be the day you want any more information, however, about what our topic is, because we're talking about Graham Platner again. The Graham Platner, currently about to be the nominee for Senate in Maine for the Democrats. And we have a news story out about him. Ex-girlfriend of Graham Platner says he removed condoms without consent during sex. Wow. We are really, even the Washington Post, they have this. Can we zoom in on this? Because if you notice, Dave, they've actually put up exclusive. Like, they've really nailed this information. Although I will say,
somebody's getting nailed.
Yeah. I will say with Graham Platner's history, I doubt, this particular woman had this happen to her exclusively.
No, I highly doubt it. He seems like the guy who's like, I'll put on a condom, and he's got just like the rubber band that he just rolls onto himself. And he's like, it's on, it's sturdy. Or in the middle of it, he's just so confident that he's like, here, hold this. And she's like, wait a minute. It's supposed to be on you. It's wherever I want it.
It's don't worry, as long as I have it, we're protected. It doesn't have to necessarily be in any particular spot. At least that's my understanding.
You said, do I have one? The answer is yes.
Lindsay Fifield is the woman who brought this information to our attention. She's one of the original accusers from the New York Times article as well. She said she dated Platner from 2013 to 2015 in D.C. That's, by the way, I don't think there's any argument about that they dated. Previously accused him of physical abuse, said that she told Platner on multiple occasions that he had to wear condoms during sex because she was not on birth control. He would pull condoms off, she said in an interview. He would do it in a sneaky way. He wouldn't tell me. What a piece of work this guy is.
Is he married? I can't remember.
Yeah, now he is, yeah.
Okay, but he wasn't then.
He wasn't then. He did send sexts to a bunch of women while he was married. We know that, but we don't know if he actually had any physical hookups with them, at least at this point.
That's good. I'm just glad that Democrats basically lost men because they called them Nazi rapists. So now they've elected a Nazi or plan to elect a Nazi rapist. It's very fun. It's very fun to see. It's all, and I don't doubt it for a second. He seems like a guy who would do that. He's like, what? I can't feel nothing with it on.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Shut up.
He's 100% that guy. 100% that guy. And you bring up the point on the Nazi rapist thing, which is a great point, because the reason why this happened is it's because they looked at a group of people, regular, middle-class Americans who got sick of political elites and were like, I want somebody who's going to speak, plainly, who's not going to be part of the establishment. I want someone from the outside. I want someone who maybe is a little offensive, like Donald Trump, and will say some things that are uncomfortable, like Donald Trump. So they went and they just found a freaking Nazi. I mean, they were calling everybody who all these people on the, the right and in the middle who are, white working class Americans. They called all of them Nazis for years and years and years and years. Somehow, I don't understand how, but that scared them off from voting for them. So then they were like, oh gosh, let's just get a Nazi of our own, a rapist of our own, and then we'll run them for office and everything will work out fine. It's not working out all that fine though, Dave.
No, it seems that you have to have proof, or at least some people that seem like plausible sources. It doesn't help when you try to take everything that you are that's against somebody and then find the candidate that has all those negative qualities. Somehow it managed to backfire. I'm excited about it, though. I think it's great that we've been called Nazi rapists and every other name for the last decade plus. So we'll see how this plays out. Like I honestly I'm out of sympathy for anyone. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. No, that's just where I'm at. I just don't care at this point.
I'm with you on that. I have no sympathy for these. They deserve every freaking second of what they're going through right now. They did this to themselves. They should have known. I mean, like the answer, when you unfairly call a bunch of people Nazis and rapists and they don't like you anymore, the answer is not to hire your own Nazis and rapists. The answer is to stop calling those people Nazis and rapists and treat them like real individuals and people that actually are, good Americans, right? They're not Nazis. They're not rapists. Just because they like lower taxes does not make them either one of those two categories. That's not how you define them. But they did this forever.
Yes.
And now they've got Graham Platner to deal with, at least for, who knows, a couple more days, potentially. Now, Dave, you might say, well, he did this. Did he do this once? No. Did he do it twice? No. Did he do it more than that? Yeah. She estimated that Graham Platner removed condoms without her consent, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but at least 6 times when they had sex at both of their residences in D.C. during their 2-year on and off relationship. She said she told him that she was upset about it, but he would make light of the situation. He was like, I'm just being, you know me, I'm just being sneaky. By the way, if someone breaks in, I will rape them. I will rape them, not in a gay way, but I will rape them. Good to see you again. I'll meet you at dinner tomorrow night. I mean, why are these women even dating this guy?
Yeah. If anybody breaks into the house, I will raw dog them. You're not the only one who I am sneaking into without protection. I promise you. I will make them also hold the condom while I handle my business and show them who's boss if they happen to break in.
Not in a gay way, though. I want to make sure that you're clear about that. It's not in a gay way whatsoever. But it will be. I will be unprotected during the act. But it will not
rock hard while a man struggles. But that is because I'm thinking of girls. Yeah, Asian girls. Yeah, that's it. Not men. In no way is it erotic to me.
No.
Power. The power gets me there.
Yeah, that's surely it.
It's
It's so gross. He is the worst.
Fool you once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I'm going to keep fooling you.
I will say, I don't know. Again, when you
I will
say
say she's kind of stupid. Wouldn't you check after a little while?
like when you say things like this,
I don't want to victim
No,
shame, but I
know.
feel like you're kind of an idiot.
This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get accused of if you make points like this. And I'm sure these women are, they don't deserve these terrible things that he's done to them. Obviously, that goes without saying.
No.
But I am surprised at how many of them describe these multi-year relationships with this guy who's like, I mean, this is a crime. To do this in multiple states, multiple countries around the globe is a crime to do this, to take a condom off when the woman doesn't know about it. It is definitely a crime to break into their house and rape them. It is definitely a crime to pull them out of a cab and bruise them. It is definitely a crime to hide, to lock them into a room against their will for extended periods of time. Again, I know these things are more complicated than a podcast
Define
can.
crime. These are all crimes? Everything you said's okay. Well, had I known at the time.
I know these are more complicated than our dumb podcast can possibly work through. But it does strike to me like you got to have a little more value of yourself, right? You got to be like, you got to value your own time. You're worth more than being with an idiot like this. And the second he does any one of these numerous things he was doing to these people, like, for example, having a Nazi tattoo, that's your excuse to go back onto Tinder, right? That's when you do it. You don't wait until the assault happens 2 years later when you see the Nazi tattoo for the very first time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel that if you're telling your friend, like, well, he does beat me. He pretends he's wearing condoms when he's not. He's done that, half a dozen times or so. I feel like he's the one. Oh, did I mention he has a Nazi tattoo? It's I don't see what's wrong with him. He's so dreamy. I feel it's a little give and take there. It doesn't mean that his character's any better. It just means that, you're not Meredith Baxter Burney living in a Lifetime movie, so maybe you can leave. And I realize there's a lot of people who are like, well, there's certain situations where I can't. You have your own place. He's breaking in to rape you. You seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, these situations can be complicated at times, but like none of these stories seem to line up to the typical story you'd hear, where like, a woman is living with a wife and he's abusive to her all the time, and she has no place she can go, and the kids are there, and that's a factor. There's obviously lots of complications when it comes to abuse, but these situations do seem to be like on and off again relationships where like the reason they were off is because of an assault or a bruise or a tattoo or an imprisonment in their homes, and then they're back on again later. I just don't know anyone who went through a relationship like that. Maybe I'm not, thankfully not experienced, but like I would want to tell my daughter, if any of these things, let me give you a list. I'm going to give you a book of all of Graham Platner's offenses. If any man does any of these things to you ever, get out immediately. Like that should be one of the top lessons from this saga.
Yes, once is too many. It's absurd the amount of stuff that he's gotten away with.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel, look, even if it all proves that they were there too long, whatever that even means, you can't, I mean, I don't want to, again, you're not supposed to victim shame, but at the same time, you can do better.
Yeah.
And, at least she's coming forward now. But it still shows the guy's character, which is the exact character we thought he was, which is a monster.
Yep. Of course, he's denying all this, Dave. In a statement to response to questions about the allegations, Platner campaign called the claim categorically false and politically motivated. This is their answer to anything Feifeld is saying, because she has had history working with Republicans. She supported Brett Kavanaugh when he was accused of sexual assault. But that, again, we all know the Kavanaugh thing is an interesting example, because there was no evidence of it, right? There was no one else saw anything. That's unlike these accusations where she did text other people and communicate a lot of this at the time. I don't think that can condemn him legally, and this is an important part of the entire Me Too era, Dave. It's like the correct way to deal with accusations like this is through the court system. It is not. The correct way is not a leak to the New York Times 12 years later. There's no way to make sense of that, and you can't find evidence. It's really hard to prove any of this stuff. These things do need to be dealt with at the time they occur by going to the police basically immediately. That's how a legal system's set up. And if what you want to do is try like the Bill Cosby thing, for example, there's a reason why he's not in prison right now for the stuff that I think he did, is because no one said anything for 30 years, right? And
I'm still on the fence, but go on. You do you.
I know. I appreciate that.
No, but you're right though. With Kavanaugh, they actually had to come up with "believe all women" because the story made such little sense and had so little proof. They had to be like, just believe. It's how you get ET to fly. But the other part too is this is exactly what he does. These women might not be breaking into his house, but he is sexually assaulting them in a not gay way.
Very not.
So
gay.
This is very true. This is what he does.
Mm-hmm. It's a great point. That was their answer, because when it's a Republican and when they really need it to be true, and when they just happened, and look, this is no fault of their own here. They wanted to come up with a BS political attack, and they happened to pick the one loser who kept a diary of their daily activities every day when they were like 18 years old. Okay,
how do you do that?
I don't know.
There's nobody. He's not at a party.
Right. He's probably never been to a party. Let's be honest about it.
You cannot keep a calendar and be at a party. That's absurd. Mm-hmm. At 18 in the 80s, he's like, I just have to write everything down and know where I'm going to be, because I'm awesome. Because I'm going to go party later.
Basically saved his life and career.
Revenge of the Nerd sex.
Amazing.
Sorry, what?
It basically saved his life and his career, right? At least his public life. The fact that he wrote down. The other thing is, of course, no one else had any evidence that he was there. No one else saw him there. She couldn't remember not only what house it was in, but what town it was in or what year it was in. There are a lot of holes in that particular story, but to your point, it was, you just have to believe it then. Just believe that it's true in this sort of supernatural way. Believe all women. And then when women come out here, woman after woman after woman, they didn't believe it for a very long time. They now apparently are believing it. And that goes back to the accusation we talked about yesterday, Dave. I want to make sure that people understand. I'm curious if you've heard this term before. Removing a condom during sex without consent is known as stealthing. It's classified
stealthing.
As stealth. Have you ever heard that? I've never heard that term before.
I honestly haven't, and you would assume that I had.
Of all people that I know who I thought might have heard that term, you would be like top of the. Jeffy probably is number one, and then you're number two on that list. At least hearing of it. I'm not saying doing it, of course. This is, by the way. Sexual assault, it is a form of sexual assault in several countries, Britain, Canada, parts of Australia, and some parts of Australia you can do it all day long, though. By the way,
that's what I love, is that it's only parts of Australia. Yeah. It's like some places you can, some places you can't.
The fun places you can, I'll tell you that. Not all these. I mean, you go to Sydney, they're going to stop you from that. But there's some places in the outback where, I mean, kangaroos don't complain about it. I'll tell you that much.
No, they don't. And they have 3 vaginas. You can look that up. Kangaroos do.
See, this is why I would think you would know what stealthing was. You're a person who knows that kangaroos have 3 vaginas. Of course you know what stealthing was, but not even you.
You would assume.
Yeah.
And a pouch. It's like they have cargo pants, Stu.
Yeah, it's
a
true.
A lot down there to keep stuff.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. By the way, I make fun of Australia. We are the exact same. The United States, Maine, California, and Washington have laws that address non-consensual removal of condoms during sex. Now,
we're kind of the same, except they're an island of criminals, and half of them are like, we don't have to make that illegal.
Probably true.
Hey, welcome to the town of stealthing. Guess what we do here? So I'd love to know where it's legal there. Because obviously somebody had a meeting and there's just a mayor like, no thanks. That's what we do here.
We're all set. I mean, look, it just doesn't feel right without it. So we go with it here in stealthing Australia. But I mean, we have a federalist system here, right, where states make rules that are different and on many different topics. And I don't think that I don't think there's a state here in America that's like, you know what? Yeah, we're kind of in. I think it's just that, a lot of states haven't passed laws on it. Only 3 have. Interestingly enough, though, Dave, Maine is one of them. And while these sexual encounters happened reportedly in D.C., where there is not a law against this, you just can't tell me that if you're doing this 6 times with one woman who is not on birth control, by the way. If you're doing it 6 times with a woman who is not on birth control, you're telling me he didn't attempt this in Maine as well? I am a big time skeptic on that one.
Yeah, I don't think that he crossed state lines to try stealthing. He seems like a guy who really would want to live on the edge.
Yes.
I feel like he's done it for sure in Maine. I'm sure he knows every rule too.
And that's the scary part. But I will say, let me see, what should we go to here? Because we're running a little bit late. Let me give you this. Liz Warren. No, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
You're going to have a banana.
I was stealthing a banana across the screen.
Here's Liz Warren. Now, I don't know if she knew about the stealthing at the time she made this statement, but I'm going to choose to believe that she did. Listen to Liz.
I am here because Washington needs fighters, and Graham Platner is the fighter we need.
He'll rape for us.
I said to myself, that's my kind of man.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Because that is a man who not only has the values, but a man
who doesn't like
believes
fighters, Graham
in
Platner.
Accountability. And we need a little accountability coming out of Washington right now.
A lot of things coming out of Washington. That's kind of the problem here, Dave.
There's too much of it. There is a great deal of stealthing, I'm sure, going on in Washington. I want to point that out.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm not surprised that there isn't a law, and it was discussed there.
Oh, yeah. There, I feel like that was the intentional place. They're like, we got to make sure this is legal here. This has got to be.
They're like, look, we'll vote, but tie it in with some other stuff.
Yeah, put it in some, veterans bill or something. Just stick it in there, and everything will be fine.
Veterans get this, stealthing.
Why is stealthing in this bill, sir? I haven't read the bill. I don't know, it's very important. I read
everything but that page, but I'm going to sign it.
This is fun because we talked about this yesterday. Graham Platner, after being accused of this, did the Eric Swalwell hostage video where he had to do the denial. And Fox News actually put this together, a little side-by-side of Swalwell and Platner doing their videos, and it's uncanny. Watch.
That you see and hear from me directly.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false.
Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false.
I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support.
We are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love.
Sure. What a surprise. They sound identical.
I like his shirt, too, that you can tell is from Kohl's sometimes 20 years ago. He's like, do I have anything that's not flannel? Is there anything in my closet that doesn't look rapey? And they're like, this is your most unrapey shirt, but we have to get this video out quick. Just put on his least rapey shirt that's still a little rapey because of his face. And let's do this video. It's word for word, basically.
Yeah, I like this too. It's kind of like, give me my sensitive blouse. That's what I need. That's kind of what it looks like. I don't know that that's a man's shirt, Dave. It looks a little froofy. I like it.
It does. I gotta shave my neck for this. All right. I don't want to.
One more thing here, Dave, before we leave Graham Platner and this entire saga, hopefully behind us, because I just hope we don't have to talk about him one more day. But Graham Platner's campaign says it contacted the state party to discuss the process if he drops out. One of the things he's saying is he's going to attempt to control this process a little bit. He's saying basically, I'm not going to drop out unless you put another socialist in there. If you put in, what's her face, the governor, Janet Mills, I don't like her, and I'm not going to drop out. I'm going to stay in. That led to this woman who is a woman in Maine. She works for the Democratic Party, and she's kind of reporting on the fact that Graham Platner's people are trying to push them around as far as designing this process to end in a way that Platner wants. Here's what she said.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you all an update on the U.S. Senate race here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Democratic Party has been working around the clock to develop a process to replace our U.S. Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is just as important as the outcome, and we are committed to ensuring that Democrats across our state can have confidence in both. Unfortunately, Graham Platner's team has repeatedly reached out to us in an attempt to put their thumb on the scale of what this process looks like. We have repeatedly reiterated to Graham Platner's team that they have no role in determining our next Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate, nor in determining what this process looks like. We have also reiterated that Graham Platner must drop out of this race so that Democrats in Maine can focus on defeating Susan Collins this November. We look forward to making this process public as soon as Graham Platner formally withdraws from this race.
First of all, lock your doors and watch wherever Graham Platner wants to put his thumb. That's always an important thing to keep track of.
At least it's only on a scale. That's the benefit.
I'm very concerned for this woman.
And they do want full transparency. They don't want somebody just snuck in all stealthy like.
No, that would be bad. You don't want that. I also will just note and I get this woman's being praised for this, being like, I'm going to resist, Platner's ridiculousness, and that's good. But I will say, she says something that's blatantly false in there, which is that he has no role in who the next nominee is going to be. I got news for you. He's already the nominee. All he has to do is do nothing. And if he does not drop out, your process means zilch. It's funny. He does have power here, Dave, and he can tell them to do whatever he wants. And if they say no, he could just stay in. He only has to deal with this for another week. If he can get through the next week, all the Democrats are going to find their way to loving him once again.
And we all know that he will find a way to stay in, even if he's uncomfortable.
All right, we got to take a break.
I think that's important for people to realize.
On that note, by the way, you're very, very well put, Dave. Eloquent. I will also say Mitch McConnell is in the news. He's been staying in a little bit too long, too. We'll get into that update next. We tend to think if a pair of earbuds sound great that they have to cost a fortune. Not true. It's not true. Raycon is proof that they don't have to be this expensive luxury item. Use everyday earbuds. The classic ones are great. I use them pretty much every day. I also like the over-the-ear ones, whether I'm sitting outside, having a drink, whether I'm working from home, whether I'm running errands, whatever I'm doing. They have active noise cancellation when I really want people to shut up. But you just kind of just delete them from the world. But they also have awareness mode, so if you're out walking or something, you could still hear what's going on around you. They're comfortable, they sound great, and they're loaded with features like the multi-point connectivity, up to 32 hours of battery life with a charging case, quick charge feature that gives you 90 minutes of listening time from just a 10-minute charge. And maybe the best part is they deliver great premium audio quality at a super high level, about half the price of the big brands. It's backed by over 3 million happy customers, of which I am one, and a 30-day happiness guarantee. The Everyday Earbuds Classics are a great option for everyday listening. Go to buyraycon.com/StuAndDave, buyraycon.com/StuAndDave. Get 20% off right now. It's BUYRAYCON.com/StuAndDave. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring the show. So, what exactly is happening with Mitch McConnell? He has been hospitalized for 3 weeks. Aides won't say why. There are rumors now that I guess someone found a document or a 911 call, I can't remember which one it was, that said that he maybe had a cardiac arrest situation that had happened a few weeks ago. He's been hospitalized since June 14th, and no one's really saying anything. I know this is bizarre. By the way, Mitch McConnell should have been out a long time ago. When he started, I mean, for a bunch of different reasons, but like we said this at the time, when you just freeze in the middle of a sentence for like 15 seconds and everyone's standing around going like, what the hell is going on? And then your brain sort of kicks back in and then you freeze again for another 10 seconds in the middle of a sentence. Like it's time. It's time to go to Shady Hills retirement home. That's the time for that to happen. They let him keep going, and now this is going on. And, he's one of the leaders, Dave, of the Senate, and no one knows what the heck the issue is.
He did glitch at least 2 or 3 times, as I can remember. Usually that's around the time that you should retire. And I don't mean necessarily from your job. I mean from Earth. I feel like God's been trying to take him for some time. And I'm sure someone will replay this as this. I'm insensitive when he dies later this week. But he probably should. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean he's had a good long life of taking the taxpayers' money and being a clog in the spokes of the wheel of this country.
I mean, look, the guy has, he's an elderly guy. He just shouldn't the last couple of terms, let's just say, he should not have run. And, this is a repeating thing. We see this all the time. These congressmen, these senators, they cannot let go of the power that they have. They think they're so important that the country can't go on without them. I got news for you. Everybody's replaceable. And especially somebody like Mitch McConnell, who, had his moments. I think he did some things that were good in his career. Certainly things that benefited the conservatives. The Supreme Court situation is one that pops to mind where, he gets credit for, the potential of an Obama nominee as opposed to Neil Gorsuch. And that's a massive thing that's changed our country, I think, for the better. But all of that being said, look, it's time. It's long past time. The man's not healthy. Stop propping these people up weekend to Bernie style and, rolling them out to Congress. Let's move on.
It's true. I think in his defense, some turtles do live to be almost 200 years old.
It's true.
And not usually when they're out of their shell, but you never know. And I think he was just really giving it the old college try. But, we got to realize it's time for him to go home. Permanently to his house, to his big shell, his waterfront shell.
His waterfront shell. He does look like not only a turtle, but I would say a cartoon turtle. Like specifically a turtle drawn into a cartoon. I'm picturing it's a cartoon that was in the, the underdog era of cartoons, which by the way, I freaking love that era of cartoons like that.
Yeah, they were great.
Oh my God. Those cartoons, they're still, the Rocky and Bullwinkle stuff. Still really good, really funny when I watch it now. It's like legit. It's incredible. The general who had all the fake war stories is incredible. He was part of, I think, the underdog one. All those are great. There's some from that era though where there's a turtle that used to go into his shell all the time, and that's the one I'm thinking of when I think of Mitch McConnell. It's that particular cartoon turtle.
He does, and he looks like he looks like the turtle, and I can't think of it to me that wears like the thick glasses.
Yeah. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. What was that? That wasn't Tennessee
I can't
Tuxedo.
remember what cartoon that is, but yeah, he definitely does not come off like a Ninja Turtle.
No,
like people need to realize that, but he comes off as a very elderly turtle that you'd think is wise, but really is not.
No, not at all.
Kind of a Magoo.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, same sort of era. I love that. By the way, there was a sort of a thing that went viral yesterday, which were these supposed reported conversations with Mitch McConnell that seemingly everybody had. Like everyone yesterday talked to Mitch. This, I think, started from, was it the guy who was on CNN? Trying to think of who the first one was that I saw. Oh yeah, Jennings, Scott Jennings. He said he had talked to McConnell for 20 minutes on Tuesday. He's still recovering in the hospital. He went through, talked about politics, foreign policy, even a little bit of Senate history. Then everybody just sort of parodied his, basically mocking it and acting like it wasn't true and saying they also had reported conversations with Mitch McConnell yesterday. I mean, I wasn't nice, but it did make me laugh a few times. I don't know, man. It's just like, it's time. We these people, we don't put them on a pedestal. They put themselves on a pedestal. They make themselves into these irreplaceable figures, and they just stick around forever because they like the power. They like the idea that they're influencing everybody else's life. Just like, it's time. Their family should just say to them, gosh, guys, come home, be with the family, hang out with your grandkids, whatever the thing is, do that other than this.
Yeah, that's why there needs to be term limits on these things, because they don't let them go. And this is proof of it, where you're going, hey, where's the guy? Because he's still holding a position, and it's basically right up until the moment they die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, this has happened with plenty of Democrats in the past, but the last two examples we brought up, the guy Keene in New Jersey and McConnell, they're Republicans. And
was it Ruth Bader Ginsburg? But she was a Democrat, but
yep.
Wasn't she another one that held on to a position forever?
Oh, well, yeah, to the point that made the left not that happy. Wound up costing them the Supreme Court, arguably. But like, right. There was was it Barbara Boxer they had two, or Dianne Feinstein, who was there, and like to the point of like, she was still working and like just saying completely incoherent things. She couldn't keep track of what was going on. She would be voting for bills that she couldn't even describe. People would ask her about it. She'd say she didn't vote for it after she had voted for it. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The entire country, and certainly both of these parties, should be embarrassed about it. Like, it's wrong to exploit these people like this. They're at fault as well, but it's wrong and awful. And I'm very I get really annoyed about this because it's both parties. They both do it all the time, and we're the victims of it. We're the victims of it, Dave.
Agreed.
Let me tell you about another woman who held on for a very, very long time, and is apparently holding on to her marriage for a very long time as well. Nancy Pelosi. I want to tell you about the latest developments in the Paul Pelosi case. He's in the news again for another run-in with authorities. We'll tell you about that next. The husband of Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi, is back in the news again. He could face hit and run charges after he rear-ended a parked car in California.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm not surprised he rear-ended somebody, but I am surprised it's a car.
That does seem to be, allegedly, the path he's gone down before. I just hope...
Was he hammered? It is.
That's not funny, Dave. That's not funny. That's the type of political violence you're responsible for, Dave. I'm very disappointed.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. A guy who wasn't a gay prostitute hit him with a hammer in his kitchen. I just want to be clear on that.
Right. Thank you.
In no way was it a gay prostitute.
Thank you for clarifying that, because that is exactly what they said. That was definitely not that, and I'm glad you clarified that. I am concerned in this incident. Was he stealthing? That is not in the report.
Not very well.
Oh, apparently not. Everyone noticed. Apparently, everybody noticed. This guy, I don't know. I honestly don't know what the truth is with that. I mean, he was literally hit in the head with a hammer. That's a terrible thing. But
Yes.
everything around him and his life and his investing and his seeming problem with alcohol and God knows what else. There's a lot of shadiness for a guy who is married to one of the most powerful women in the world.
Yes, he's 86 years old, crashing into cars, being hit by not gay prostitutes, and getting DUIs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's giving Hunter Biden a run for his money.
That's true.
It's
true.
impressive.
It would be a fun weekend with both Hunter and Pelosi. Hunter, by the way, is doing more the podcast, circuit still, and he's admitting all of these terrible things that he did, which we were all told at the beginning were lies and completely made up. But now we know that, of course, he was doing them the entire time and recording most of them on his laptop that we were told was false at the beginning and actually had nothing to it whatsoever until we were told it was completely true. So I think we're getting all the information that we need from our media, I guess, is the summary of the story.
It's good. It's better late than never, especially at a time where there'll be no consequences for it. That's what's important.
Yes.
Is now he can just go around and maybe sell a book or whatever it is that he's going to do. Paintings, or maybe he's going to light all his paintings on fire in a Malibu house and say they're worth $1 billion to the insurance company.
Sure, that definitely didn't happen. Just like the prostitute thing didn't happen. We know
he never did that.
Those things didn't occur. In fact, he was actually driving in the right direction. The parked car jumped right out in front of him. I'm pretty sure that's how that happened. So there we go. Paul Pelosi again. I guess when you bring that up though, you're a hate monger because he's a victim. I'm disappointed in you, Dave, for responding to me bringing that up. Okay, we got to take a break.
I'm upset at me too.
Yes, it's just a terrible thing we've been doing. Take a quick break, come back on the other side with a little bit more here before we clean up everything that's been just a complete disastrous mess on this program today. Look, you can decide it's time to lose weight. You can decide that, you can clean out the pantry, which I've done that before. You can make a plan. I've done that before. You can be completely committed in your brain, and I've done that before too. But if you're constantly fighting cravings, feeling hungry an hour after you're eating and struggling with energy, it can feel like your own body is working against you. That's why Lean is a really interesting thing to take a look at. It's a doctor-formulated supplement. It's designed to support healthy weight loss by working with your body's natural processes, and it helps support healthy blood sugar levels, curb your appetite, and encourage your body to burn stored fat instead of everything else when you're going to create energy. This is one of those things. If you're not burning that fat for energy, it's there. Like your body thinks, oh, I'll store onto this. I'll hang on to this in case there's an emergency. Well, the emergency is you look terrible. Okay. The emergency is your shirt's too tight. And this is going to help with that. If you've got more than just a few pounds to lose, if you're looking for something that fits into a real lifestyle instead of, dealing with all sorts of crazy, there's a lot of solutions out there. You can check them out, but Lean is a great thing. I think you'll really enjoy. Get started right now with 20% off free rush shipping, so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan right now. TakeLean.com is the place to go to do this. Enter the code Stu and Dave. You'll get a discount there. The promo code is Stu and Dave at TakeLean.com. TakeLean.com. Make sure to go over to blazetv.com/Stu and Dave and use the code Stu and Dave. You get $20 off your subscription to Blaze TV. We love getting your comments on the Blaze TV app. Let me give you a few of your comments. Fisher Priest writes, between Platner and Stephen King, I'm beginning to think there's something wrong with Maine. That there is an indication of this, I will say. You're a little isolated up there, and crazy crap happens.
There's some proof. Mm-hmm. Some undeniable proof.
Mm-hmm. How about this one from Jeremy C613? The crazy thing is to me is that MS Now, this reporter, said in his own words that he didn't believe Graham, but said nothing. This is true. We played the clip. As a reporter, he admits he's not the audience's presence in the room, but the mouthpiece for the network. That's revealing a little bit too much, I think, Dave.
Yeah, that's horrifying. That's a good point.
It really is. And this one,
that's horrifying.
This is a good point as well. Dave and Stu are stacking political bodies. First Swalwell, now Platner. They can't be stopped. If they want your political career over, all they have to do is moderately put their mind to it, and in 2 to 4 months, you'll be sitting in front of a tripod apologizing and planning a new career. What a great comment. Amen. That's kind of like the slogan of the show. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.